Good evening, all. How are we doing tonight? Let me just check that I've had a complaint. I had a complaint, a serious complaint last week that my logo was back to front, mirror image, and I should. They told me that I should get my shirt reprinted to have it the right way around. Of course, I don't need to do that. It's just a flick of a switch. But I always need to make sure that my logo's the right way around. Um, right. I was going to talk tonight about adulting, but I suddenly realised something. Of course, starting the stream at 19:30 meant that all my friends that would normally understand about adulting are in bed because it's way past their bedtime, which is a shame. So there's not really much to talk about in that case. Because I haven't got any viewers. Ah, oh, that's a classic one, isn't it? Zero viewers, nil viewers. Oh, hello, I've got one. Hi, hi, Ray Nees, whoever you are. So, hello. Oh, it looks like my stream just froze. Then, maybe it was my local one. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about adulting, because this morning, right, I woke up, I put a scarf on, and I wanted to be a pirate. And I went into the kitchen, and the missus took one look at me, laughed, and said, "You look really stupid." And I thought, I just wanted to be a pirate. Can't I get up in the morning and be a pirate? You know, ooh and shiver me timbers and keel haul him Jack lad and walk the plank. Maybe I could be a Cockney pirate. That's what I could be, a Cockney pirate, the world's first Cockney pirate. But I just got up and I just wanted to be a pirate. And my missus just sort of slapped me down straight away, saying I look really stupid. Mm, I'm allowed to look stupid. I'm old, all right? I don't think women quite get it. Um, and I really don't think women quite get it. That did you just post a link? Did you just spam my chat? Seriously? Seriously, did you just spam my chat? Oh, there we go. That will sort you out. Right. Um, so my missus just slammed me down, didn't she? Slapped me straight down and said that you look really stupid. Take that off. Oh, okay. I mean, women just don't understand, do they? Right? That you you're born, you crawl, you walk, you act like a kid, and then you grow up and you have children and they leave home, and then you act like a kid and you crawl a lot. It's just what getting old's all about. If I want to act like a kid, I can act like a kid. Actually, that's not the reason that that's not the reason that I've got this scarf on. All right, that's not the reason at all that I've got this scarf on. I didn't really get up this morning and think I want to be a pirate. I'm not that stupid, all right. Some of my friends might get up and think they want to be a pirate, but I didn't get up and think I wanted to be a pirate. I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid. The reason I've got this scarf on, let me take it off because it's pretty warm in here, and I'm getting quite hot with it on. The reason I've got this scarf on is that I was due to start chemotherapy today, but I didn't. Um, and I'll tell you why in a second about that. Why I didn't start chemotherapy. Yeah, you can have a look at the top of my head. Sorry, I'm just digging a pen out. I was due to start chemotherapy today. Well, obviously, the mind is a very strange thing, and it was obviously playing on my mind about chemotherapy because obviously I know that we dream every night. I know people have dreams every night. Um, and I dreamt last night. I had a dream last night that I was in the chemotherapy suite and I lost all my hair, and I had a problem with my scarf, and I couldn't tie it. So just to check this morning, right? I got up this morning. I thought, well, I've got a scarf. Look, this is scarf. I'm just going to see if I can tie it. So I did, and it all went downhill from there. I wasn't really being a pirate. Um, but it's funny that I've always associated scars with chemotherapy. The reason being is because the chemotherapy suite that I'm treated in, it's unisex. There's men and women in there, and a lot of the women are on different cancers have different chemotherapies. Mine actually doesn't cause me to lose any hair, but some of the women do lose their hair, and some put wigs on, but a lot of them just wear a hat or scarves just to cover it because it grows back pretty quickly. So I've always made that association of chemotherapy with a scarf, and it was just the way that my mind worked last night. It had obviously been playing on my mind, and it was obviously really bothering me to affect a dream because I never normally remember my dreams. Hardly ever remember my dreams. I just remembered that one this morning, and I just thought, well, yeah, okay, I'm going to go and try and see if I can put a scarf on in case I lose my hair. But I didn't start chemotherapy. The reason I didn't start chemotherapy, I got a phone call this afternoon. It was the hospital, and I thought, okay, they're giving me the dates for the chemotherapy. No, the reason I'm not starting chemotherapy is that my consultant thinks that I'm too delicate. My lungs are too delicate for one of the chemotherapy chemicals. So I'm not having it. So they're not doing it. They're not doing it. I've still got one. I'm still starting on the lenalidomide, which I start Wednesday. If it's ready, I say if it's ready because the drug is ready at the pharmacy, but there's a little bit of a problem with the paperwork. When you do lenalidomide, you've got to do it through a proper register because it's such a dangerous drug. So it's like the poisons register, but for chemotherapy. Losing the plot here. Sorry. Um, and it is starting, but I'm not sure exactly when it's starting. Right. Okay. Let's just do the papers. Yeah, that's an idea. Let's just go through and do the papers, shall we? So let's just switch screens. That shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be freezing like that. Now I don't know why that froze like that. That should not be happening. Let's just kill some of my background processes that I've got running for the moment. That should stop that. Right. We're looking at the papers. All right. We'll go through the papers. No, the papers are out of date, and obviously there's one main headline which we'll talk about in a little while. Okay. And we'll definitely talk about that in a little while. So, the Daily Express: Britain's flee as Afghanistan falls. That's what we're going to talk about in a little while. We'll come back to. I'm just going through the papers, and it's Britain's flee as that's the Daily Express. The Daily Mirror: Paras in to save 6,000 Brits. Last stand at the airport in a race against time to evacuate. The reason I'm looking to the side is because I've got another screen there, and I'm watching. I'm reading it on the other screen. The Metro: Taliban take control. The fall of Kabul. All the papers are going to be full of this. So the Times. Ruby Wax apparently was jealous of Louise Theroux. Okay. The Times: Triumphant Taliban take Kabul as president flees. Apparently, the president of Afghanistan has done a bunk. He did a bunk yesterday, I believe. Taliban rule returns to Afghanistan. The Daily Mail, a paper I used to love. I used to love the Daily Mail, but it went so stupid and so unbelievable that it just went downhill. It was such a good paper. I'm pretty sure it's when that twat Piers, what's his name, took over. I can't even remember his name now. He's so inconsequential. He's a complete moron. I forget his name now. What the hell did they all die for? That's a question I'm going to be asking in a minute. But the Daily Mail is, after 20 years, Afghanistan abandoned in days. Fears grow for our brave translators. Mounting panic in rush to free Taliban. So, now families of 457 British heroes who sacrificed their lives ask, what the hell did they die for? So the Daily Mail didn't pull any punches with that one. The Daily Star. Daily Star is here comes the Tum. Right, and it's got a picture of a bloke with his beer belly hanging out. Because 31 degrees scorcher is on its way from Spain. Apparently summer's going to get here eventually. It's coming from Spain. I hope it doesn't have to self-isolate. So that's the papers. They're all going through the same thing, and you couldn't help notice it. Let me just get rid of this. Now we've done the papers. You can't help but you can't help but notice that it's in the news today. You can't get away from it. I've 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 never ever supported the our troops getting involved in Afghanistan. I never supported our troops getting involved in the two Gulf Wars. I if I'm honest, and this is a personal opinion, all right, I can't speak with any authority. I'm not even a Facebooking dad expert on it. But as far as I can recall, the only justified war the UK forces have been involved in my lifetime is the Falklands War, which was an armed conflict more than a war. But that's the only justified one. I couldn't see the justification for the first Gulf War, and there was definitely no justification for the second Gulf War. And I think going in and invading Afghanistan was a bit thin, to say the least. The war on terror. Let's blame it all on this country, and invade them. And the fact that we've been there 20 years is quite telling. Now they've made the decision to withdraw. Now, no matter how this goes, disentangling and disengaging ourselves from Afghanistan is going to be a very sad experience. It's going to be a very sad experience for the people left behind. And I don't think there's any easy way to do it. And I notice a lot of the papers I'll be crying that it's being done, but I don't like to look at the knee jerk headlines. I don't like to knee jerk. I like to sit back and think about things before I give a comment on it, especially politics, because I really try and avoid politics. Although this is like I say, the main story. It's you can't not know about it. And I think to myself, yeah, okay, if not now, when? All right, if not now, when? If we're not withdrawing today, when do we withdraw? Do we stay another year? Do we stay another year? What is the end game? Which is the point that we withdraw? We tried to control the Taliban and we couldn't. We tried to destroy Al Qaeda and we couldn't. And somebody once said to me, I don't know whether this is it is the same thing as Vietnam. You're right, Ed, it is the same thing as Vietnam. You're absolutely right. I couldn't tell you who said this to me, but somebody once told me that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. Now, back in the 1840s, when Britain was when Britain was still a world power back in the 1840s, we were a world power then, a proper world power. We got entangled in Afghanistan in the Khyber Pass, and we got our asses kicked, and we got our asses kicked big time, right? Because we learned, we discovered that what you cannot do is you cannot fight that type of war. You cannot fight against an enemy that is so deeply entrenched in the population. You can't see them. They're not uniformed. They don't stand up and say, "Hello, I'm your enemy." You don't know who your enemy actually is. They could be the guy standing next to you. You don't know. You can't tell by looking. At least in the two world wars we had, you could see who your enemy was. Right? They had uniforms. You could see who your enemy was. And secondly, you can't fight a war with your hands tied behind your back. All right, you can't. We didn't learn that in Vietnam. We didn't learn that in Korea. Right? Both of those wars, and the British were involved in both, by the way. It doesn't really, there's not really much said about it, but the British were actually involved. They were more involved in Korea, but they were also involved in Vietnam. But again, the politicians tied the army's hands. They said, "Yeah, we'll go to war, but you can't do this, you can't do that." Whether you like them or not, and I'm no way a pro-Nazi in any way, right? And we're talking about the German army, not the Nazi part, the German army. If you look back in history, right, the German army understood something, right? When they started to, when they set out on their mission to gain more land, right? It's when they set out on the mission to gain more land, they discovered a technique called blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg translates means lightning war, and that is exactly how they conquered Poland and Hungary and France and Belgium. They hit them with such overwhelming force and such speed they had absolutely no chance to defend. That is how you invade a country. All right, you don't Mickey Mouse it. You don't hit them with what was it called when they did the second Gulf War? Thunder and lightning or something like that. They did that for about 3 days. And then the politicians got involved and they said, well, hang on, you're killing people. No, stop. We don't want you to do that. You're killing people. Just pull back. And it turned into another travesty. It's the same as Afghanistan. If you want to win a war like that, you've got to go in with absolutely overwhelming force and speed. You don't go in drips and drabs, and you don't try and win their hearts and minds. You didn't win their hearts and minds in Korea. In fact, Korea is still, technically, we are still at war in Korea, all right, on the 49th parallel, I think it is. I'll tell you a little story about that in a minute. But we are technically still at war in Korea. We tried to win the hearts and minds. It didn't work. Vietnam, we tried to win the hearts and minds. It didn't work. You know, the 2 Gulf Wars, it never worked. And we did the same in Afghanistan. It never worked. Why don't we learn from our mistakes of the past and stop getting involved? And like my mate Ed says, there's nothing in Afghanistan. It's on the way to everywhere. I agree, it is a crossroads, but it's... I don't know. I can't speak for America, but I'll speak for the UK, all right? We're not the big country we used to be. We're not the major world power we once were. Yeah, we've got nukes, okay? We've got a few nukes. I mean, yeah, if you shit on our doorstep, we can punish you. I mean, you know, it's enough to stop the people like China and Russia from ever thinking they could attack us because we've got a bit of a bite. But that's it. I mean, I think our army is less than 120,000 troops, our full-time army. It's nothing. That's nothing. But it's been 20 years now that we've been in Afghanistan. So what have we achieved? Nothing. We've achieved chaos. But worse than that, right? Worse than that. That's 20 years. Nearly 20 years we've been in Afghanistan. That means that children, little children, when we arrived, right? The little children are now grown men, and then now the men that are fighting us. All right. So what we've achieved is we've actually trained and taught a whole another generation of people to hate us, and I think that's going to come back and bite us in the arse. But like I said, I'm glad we're getting out. We should never have gone there in the first place. I'm glad we're getting out, and I don't know if there's any easy. I don't know if there's any easy way to withdraw. I don't know how do you withdraw? How do you disentangle from something like that without it all turning to shit like it is? I mean, I saw some horrible pictures today. I was on Twitter looking at doing a bit of research for this, and I saw some people clinging to the side of I think it was a Starlifter, C5 Galaxy Starlifter, actually clinging to the side of this plane as it took off. And then the next thing you know is it's got up to about 1,000 feet, and you can see these people falling off. I mean, it's just absolutely horrible. I didn't realise there were people. Oh, I thought, what's that? And I suddenly realised, oh my God, there's people. I just stopped watching it, but it's I don't know. Ed, how do you feel about it? Are you glad that you're out? Are you glad that your troops are coming out of it? I want to wait for Ed to respond to that. Vietnam, yeah, Vietnam. I know all about Vietnam. Um, not Vietnam, Korea. I went out to Korea in 2012. I went out to Korea in 2012, and I went out there for work. And one of the things is, one of the things on my bucket list that I've always wanted to do is I've always wanted to stand on the border between North and South Korea. Crazy, I know, but as I grew up, this border was widely regarded as the most dangerous border on the planet. And I wanted to do it, and I did. And I wanted to stare at the North Koreans, and I did. And you're not supposed to do that, right? When you go there, right, you're warned about what you can and can't do, right? Um, you can't have cameras with long lenses. You can't stare at the border guards. You can't make gestures towards them, you know, like that. You can't. They give you a whole long list of things that you can't do in case you set them off. But it's such a bizarre experience that you come from South Korea, which is it's a modern first world country, and North Korea is when you look across the border, right, and you look into You look into North Korea, it's a wasteland. It's just a wasteland. You just look and you think, you look behind you and you see Korea, South Korea, and you see a modern 21st century place. You can't miss it. It's everywhere you look. And then you look across the border in South Korea, and it's just barren. We went to something called the reunification. It's a reunification centre or something, and it's actually built up on top of a hill and built up on stilts. And you actually go up and you actually look, and you're looking right down into a valley in North Korea, and you look at it, and you understand when you see the people down there, you understand what a third world country is. And you would have thought, I mean, the North Koreans being the publicists they are, you would have thought that they would have had this. This is the part of their country that's on public display, right? This is the part of the country you can actually see, and you can actually see for about 4 to 5 miles into Korea. Let me just see if I can pull it up. Let's just see if I can pull a picture of it up. The reunification. Um, Center for Strategic. Is that it? No, that's not it. I've got a Ministry of Unification. oh, oh, I don't know. Was it called the reunification? I forget what it was called now. I completely forget what it was called. But we stood up there and we looked over into Korea, and the place looked like it was a dump. It looked like it was a complete dump. And you would have thought that that was their shop window to the world, wouldn't you? You would have thought that if you can have anything modern about your country, you have it there where you can see it. You know, that's what you want. You would have something to be proud of, not peasants and derelict buildings. I mean, it didn't enamour me to anything in Korea at all. Didn't enamour me to anything at all. And I looked across and I thought it just looks a dour, miserable country. I can't find it. I know I've been there, obviously. um, it may not have been called that. It might have been called something else. Oh, I don't know. Um, but it was one of those experiences. I mean, I went to Seoul, so it was something that I had to do. And it was funny. The guy that our guide, because in Seoul they don't speak English that well. So we had a guide. And our guide, this is the guide was actually paid for and laid on by the television production company, which is really nice. Our guide is a nice guy, but he'd lived in Seoul all of his life, and he'd never been out to the border. I mean, that's I'm a Londoner, right? That's a bit like me living in London and saying, well, I've never been to Tower Bridge. Well, I have, of course. Oh God. My mum used to walk me across it. We used to push me across it with a pram when I was younger. But I mean, I've seen all the major sites in London. Every major site that you think is a London site, I've seen it. Yes, I've seen the Queen. No, I haven't met her. Yes, I've seen Prince Charles. No, I haven't met him. I've never actually met any of the royals, but I have seen most of them over the years. So for this guy living in Seoul all of his life and never having been out to the border, he didn't even know where the border was. Never been out to the border. It was a strange experience. And then he said that once we were out there, he said he couldn't understand why I needed to go and see the border, and it's just because it's there. Um, a quote which is wrongly attributed to a lot of people attribute this to Edmund Hillary. When he was asked why he climbed Everest, he said because it was there. It wasn't Edward Hillary, it was George Lee Mallory in 1932. And he attempted to climb Everest, and just before he attempted to climb Everest, somebody asked him why, and he said, because it's there. Um, okay, because it's there. Um, So where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Yeah. So Afghanistan is just a bit. You know, it's just a bit. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad we're out of it. And you have to ask the question: if not when, if not now, when? So hopefully it all turns right, and I hope there's no genocide, and I hope it all goes well. But I've got a funny feeling it's all going to really turn to shit, and that's all going to cause a problem. Um, adulting, adulting. Let's see what the dictionary describes adulting as. Adulting meaning the practice of behaving in a way characteristic of a responsible adult, especially the accompaniment of mundane and necessary tasks like paying the rent, cooking dinner. Yeah. To grow up, to do grown up things and hold responsibilities such as a 9 to 5 job, a rent payment, a car payment, or anything else that makes one think of being an adult. Yeah, that's adulting, right? Okay. Here's my idea of adulting. The other week, I was well, I say the other week. It must have been last year now. It must have been, yeah. I was out on one of my rare trips, and we were out on the motorway, and I had to stop at the services to go to the toilet. Unfortunately, the gents' toilets were out of order, so we were directed to use the ladies' toilets. Well, after I'd finished, I went into every empty stall and I lifted the toilet seats. That's adulting. That's how you do adulting, right? That's an adult thing to do. I'll let you think about that for a minute. You know, you could just imagine the ladies walking into the ladies' toilets and seeing all the seats lifted up. Yeah, yeah. Okay, ladies will get that, men won't. But I just did that. That's my sort of adulting thing. Another adulting thing is when I go around people's houses and I find out that they've got an Alexa, I like to tell Alexa to set fart timers. Do it, do it, do it. So say Alexa, set a fart timer for 3:30 in the morning, or set a fart timer for 5 hours. My Alexa's on. I bet it does it. Let me just check. No, it's not. It's on Do Not Disturb. Thank God for that. Alexa, turn off Do Not Disturb.
Do Not Disturb is already turned off.
No, it's already turned off, but you know, you can set. We'll show you. Alexa, set a fart timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
It will set a fart timer, right? And you do that. I like to go around my mate's house and do that. My first mother-in-law, she used to love her cup of tea. She loved her cup of tea. I used to hide her teapot. She hated me for that. You walk into her house and I just hide her teapot, and she couldn't find it. She'd swear like crazy. But I mean, those are the sort of things that I'm allowed to do as I'm a bit older. All right, and that's what that is. So I've done all the adulting things. I mean, I've had 4 kids. I've got 4 kids. I've got 2 boys and 2 girls. My youngest 2 are twins. I brought them up. They've all left home now, and I think I've done a good job. And they asked me how they were as getting. They asked me why I did it, and I said because you know, I mean, to be honest, the only reason I had kids is if I ever needed a kidney in later life. Good transplant material, kids are. No, I love them. I love them. I've got 4 kids, and I've got they've all got their own kids now. They've all got their own families, and I've got something like 11 grandchildren, or is it 12? I can't remember. Louise, she's got 4. That's 4. Claire's got 2. That's 6. Kevin's got 3. That's 7. And Peter's got 2. That's 9. I'm sure I'm missing. I'm sure I'm missing some children somewhere. Hmm. I'm sure I'm missing some grandchildren somewhere. That's 9. And they're all great. Unfortunately, because of my illnesses, I don't get to see my grandchildren a lot as much as I'd like to. And now because I'm back on chemotherapy, I'm back on shielding again. So I'm not going to get to see my children and grandchildren as much as I'd like to. Although I will be seeing my Louise hopefully in the next few days with her children, because she was going to come over, but she can't at the moment because Not because I'm shielding or anything like that. It's because we're having our upstairs bathroom converted into a wet room for me. And it's about halfway through, and I have got this toilet coming like you wouldn't believe. I have got a fantastic toilet coming, right? This toilet, okay. This toilet, right, when I finish taking a dump, this toilet, right, a little arm comes out underneath my bum, right, and it squirts warm water up my bum to wash it, right, okay. And then when it's done that, okay, it blows it dry with hot air. And I'm going to spend hours on that toilet. I can see that being my second home. In fact, I'm already planning to stream from the toilet. All right, I'm seriously thinking about streaming from that toilet. That's going to be so much fun. I've got a stair lift coming as well. They're putting a stair lift in. And I'm thinking of sort of jazzing it up and adding either a corkscrew or a loop and charging the local neighbourhood kids £1 to go. That's what I'm thinking of doing. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think I'll be allowed to. So that's that. But that's all disruption this week. So excuse me yawning. I really did have a bad night last night, which is why I remember my dreams. I don't normally remember my dreams. I don't normally remember my dreams at all. But it's it's what, sorry, I was just distracted by a Facebook message. Not remembering my dreams is normal for me, but whenever there's a major event in my life, I seem to get disturbed sleep the night before. And like I say, I was due to start chemo today, but it never happened. I've actually had a sleep today as well. I mean, I got up at 7:30. What time did I go to bed last night? My phone will tell me. My phone will tell me. Um, I've got one of these. I've got one of these smartwatches. It's the Huawei, if that's pronounced correctly, the Huawei GG2 Pro. Right, I had 7 hours and 23 minutes of sleep last night because I went to bed at 23:28 and I got up at 7:21. What it doesn't say, because I haven't synchronized it. Oh, Alexa, stop. Alexa didn't understand my instruction. Alexa, set a fart timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, is that a fart timer?
You don't have a fart timer.
Oh, obviously, okay. Alexa, cancel timer.
5-minute timer cancelled.
Oh, Alexa's that's my fun taken away, isn't it? They've cancelled the fart timer. They've taken my fun away. Oh dear. Try it anyway at your place, right? It hasn't caught up with my naps yet, so obviously hasn't synchronised my watch. So yeah, I had 8 hours last night. Well, 7 hours and 23 minutes, and then I went back to bed at about just after midday. Oh. Just after midday, and had a couple of hours. And it's caught up now. It says I had 20 minutes. No, it's lying. Oh, it's caught up. It's caught up. It's caught up. It says I had a nap of 21 minutes from 12:23 to 12:24. So it might have only been 21 minutes, but it did seem a bit longer. So I'm absolutely shattered. This is one of the symptoms of my cancer. I do get tired very, very easily, very, very quickly. And you're again. If I'm completely honest, I can manage to stream 3 times a week for an hour. I can manage to pull my shit together to actually appear. human and normal for an hour, but it is hard work. It is hard work. Yawn again. Sorry. Dear. You're not yawning me. You're not boring me. Once again, I've turned my viewer count off, so I've got no idea if I've got any viewers. I did have a friend called Ed viewing, but obviously he's disappeared. So, if anybody else is there, please, please feel say to be hi. You know, and say hi. But if you're not there, it's well, if you're not there, you're not there, are you? Are you? I'm rapidly running out of things to say, and I'm actually getting very tired. I had to phone the doctors today. I've had an appointment with the doctors. I know what a lot of people in this country say about not being able to get hold of doctors, but I don't have a problem with my surgery. I'm lucky. I phoned in the morning and I got an appointment with the doctor this afternoon. It was only a telephone appointment, but he didn't need to see me. Um, what it is I've had a problem for the last 6 to 8 weeks now with my eyes. I get up in the morning and my eyes stream constantly from the minute I get up until about halfway through the day, and then they dry up. And then as the night goes, oh God, I'm yawning again. As the night goes on, they start streaming again. Like I say, I can normally pull myself together for an hour to do this streaming, but this fatigue is you have no idea. I hope you never get cancer. This fatigue is something that is absolutely horrible. It really is. There's nothing like it. It's debilitating. It really is. I can't begin to describe it. You just you can see that I'm yawning like crazy, and I've had a good night's sleep and a nap. Oh dear, excuse me. Oh, oh, my eyes are starting to water again. Oh, I think it's another one of my symptoms, but I've got to go to an ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist. I'll get a form in the paper. I'll get a form through the post in the next couple of days, just to have my eyes checked out, just to make sure there's no other thing. Which I knew what the doctor would do, because doctors don't specialise in any one thing. They're general, but they prefer to refer you to the specialists. If it's your teeth, they prefer to refer you to the dentist. Um, so they referred me to the optician, this ophthalmic thing, and I've got to make an appointment to get my eyes looked at. But I've got a funny feeling it might be an allergy. I might be allergic to something, but I'm taking sliding out on the floor. I'm taking these. Don't know if you can see that. Chlorphenamine malate, which I think is Piriton. I think can be taken every 4 to 6 hours when required, which I do. One tablet. In fact, I haven't taken one since this morning, so I'm going to take one now. There you go. Look, doing drugs live on the stream. Just in case that is what's causing my eye problems. Yeah. I I've got these water bottles. I've got this one. I've got another one over there. I've got them littered about the house. They're full of orange squash. I don't know if you can hear. I can feel it. I don't know if it's coming across in my audio, but there's the croakiness in my throat is another symptom of my cancer, and I get a very dry mouth. And I've got these scattered throughout the house so that I can have a drink when I need it. I just changing chat tack completely, just changing tack totally completely. Um, I've been I've been experimenting and researching, and I've been posting in the Facebook, Twitch streamer groups, at which I've come to this one conclusion, right? Okay, that when you post to advertise your stream, you're actually posting in a group, right? Or there's about 30 of them, right? You're actually posting in groups which are full of other people looking for viewers. So you're actually advertising to people exactly like yourself. When what you actually need to be doing is you actually need to be advertising to viewers looking for streamers, not streamers looking to viewers. However, there aren't any groups for those, and if there were, they quickly turn into they quickly be jumped on by streamers. So I'm experimenting and I'm trying out different ways to find new audiences or audiences that are new to me that aren't got via the traditional method. I mean, the streaming market is there's no two ways about it. The streaming market is massively oversaturated. It is very much oversaturated, and has been for quite a while, especially during the pandemic. And one of the things about the streaming market is that everybody thinks that all they need to do to be able to stream is have a microphone, play a game, and a camera. In fact, some people refuse to have cameras, and they assume that if you do that, you're going to be an instant overnight success and make an absolute fortune. I've got none of those illusions, none at all, none of those illusions at all. I don't do this for the money. It would be nice. It would be nice to get to a level where I get an income from it. But if I don't, I don't. I do it because I actually enjoy it. Remember, I'm seriously ill. I've got two very serious conditions. I've got cancer. I've got two very serious incurable conditions. I've got cancer and I've got bronchiectasis. And both of these conditions are serious. They're incurable and they're degenerative. And because of them, I have no social life. I mean, I can't do what other people. I can't really go out to the pub. I can't. I will be putting my health at risk. Cold, even a minor infection can cause me a problem, which is why my chemotherapy was cancelled. I'm still having one of the drugs, but the main drug that was cancelled was rituximab. Now, rituximab is a monoclonal antibody which will reduce my immunity even further. And my consultant felt it would be too dangerous for me right now to have it. So, I, I and this other tablet I'm having again that reduces my immunity. So I've got to keep away from people. So I don't have any social life. I don't get out. I don't even see my family. All right, that that's through choice. I could see them, and we want to see each other. But the problem is that I can't risk any infections. I really can't risk it. It's bad enough having the builders in. I mean, I literally have to confine myself to my room with the door shut, um, to keep away from them because of my condition. So I stream because for me it's my only social outlet. It's the only way that I can communicate. And I would like what I want from it is not what everybody else wants. Everybody else, I think, wants to make a fortune. They want to make lots of money from subscriptions, things like that. I don't necessarily want to do that. I just want to interact with people. It would be nice. It would be nice to interact with people. But the fact that and I've been asking a lot in the groups about what people want from the streams, and people say, "Oh, we want someone that talks to us. We want someone that interacts with them." And I say, "Well, I talk and I interact. You don't fucking visit here." It's so people want for the sake of wanting. They don't actually really want somebody that talks. I don't know what they want from streaming. What they want is they want me to stop doing what I'm doing and go and watch them and spend money with them. Well, that's not happening. And the other thing about them is I've noticed they're really lazy, and I don't understand how some people can get loads of followers. They're really lazy. They just drop the link and say follow me. Why? I've looked at some of them, and I do wander around Twitch and wander around YouTube, right? And I look at people, I think, okay, I'll give you a follow, but you've got to tell me why it's worth me watching. What have you got that separates you from everybody else? Why should I come and watch you? And I don't really want to do that. So I'm doing some research around that. And while I've been doing my research, there's been a lot of people saying about stress and anxiety around streaming, that they get anxious before they go on air. Because if they get no viewers, they get upset. Well, I've discovered that the easiest way to avoid getting upset about your viewer count is to turn your viewer count off so that you don't know how many viewers you've got. Interact with people. If you want to talk to me, I will interact with you. If you see something in the chat, I will interact with you. But other than that, I don't know how many viewers I've got. Then that way, I can't get stressed out about a low viewer count. So that's my answer. And one guy said to me, he said, well, if you don't count how many viewers you've got, how do you interact with them? And I think, well, what do you mean, how do I interact with them? Interacting is a two-way thing, all right? It's not one way. All right, when you're just playing to the audience, you're not interacting. Interacting is when somebody gives you something and you give it back. It's like my friend Ed dropped in and mentioned about Vietnam. So I immediately tried to interact with him about Vietnam, but obviously I bored him to tears because he went. So, you know, what can I say? That's how it goes. So that's what I want. I don't want followers. I don't want followers that just do nothing but follow me. I want people that want to. I want people that want to be around me because of what I'm saying. They want to be, they want to interact with me. They want to have a chat. It's, I want to get to know you. I want to see what you're all about. It's, I want to find out about you. People interest me. So don't just come in and watch and see what's going on. But for those that are watching, apparently, I forgot, it's National Joke Day, so I'm going to tell you a joke. You might have heard this one before, but I'll tell you anyway. A farmer buys a new rooster, and he gets this new rooster home, and immediately this new rooster starts fucking all the farmer's chickens. I mean, the farmer's got 150 chickens, so this new rooster's fucking them all. And this is before lunch. So the rooster has lunch, and in the afternoon goes out and he fucks 150 chickens again, and then he fucks 20 ducks on the duck pond. I mean, this rooster is a sex maniac. I mean, he's shagging the ducks and the chickens. So the next day, the farmer gets up and he finds out not only has the rooster shagged all the chickens, he's fucked all the ducks, he's done it to the sheep as well. And then dinner time comes and goes, and after dinner, the rooster's done it again. It's fucked every animal on the farm, right, including the farmer's dog, right, and even had a go at the farmer's wife. I mean, this is a randy little rooster. And the farmer's actually a bit regretting that he's bought this rooster, so he's thinking, this is a bit of a randy rooster, a bit of a sex maniac. So he goes to bed, gets up the next morning, and he looks around. He can't see the rooster having sex with anything. He thinks, hang on, what's going on here? So he walks out into his yard, right, and lying out on this yard is this rooster, right, completely still, and circling overhead are buzzards. And the farmer thinks, oh God, he's worn himself out. And he walks over to this rooster, right, looks down at him, and he says, that'll serve you right, you randy little bugger. Shagging all those things has killed you, hasn't it? Now you've run out of things to shag, you're dead. And the rooster opens up one eye, looks at the farmer and says, shh, they're about to land. Yeah, there you go. I can do canned laughter. Well, I can, but I'm not going to. There we go. That's your jokes, and it's National Joke Day. Right, well, I'd normally go on for an hour, but I can't. I'm actually yawning my head off, and my my throat is starting to play up. So, seeing as you've all interacted with me, and it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure seeing all of you. I'm gonna clear off early. I'm gonna say goodbye until Wednesday. Wednesday night. It looks like Monday's not a good night for me streaming, so I may in the future knock the Monday night one off. We'll see. So to all my fans and everything, farewell.